Hello students, welcome to the English class for class 10. In the last class we were seeing the lesson The Gift of the Magi, written by O. Henry. So now we'll continue with the second part. We'll see some words from the glossary. Pier glass. What is a pier glass? You would have seen in if you have visited any museum or any palace, you will see this huge glass. It's like a it covers the whole wall, okay, from ceiling to the floor, something like that. That is called a pier glass. Usually it is kept in between two windows in the olden days. If you see any old buildings, it is a huge mirror, a tall narrow mirror designed to hang on the wall. In the olden days they were kept between two windows. That is called a pier glass. It is basically a window, but basically a mirror, but a very decorative one. Queen of Sheba. You would have heard of Queen of Sheba. She is a very famous queen. She is mentioned in the Bible. She heard of King Solomon, his wisdom and how he was ruling the land in a peaceful way. So she wanted to come and test his wisdom. So she traveled from a faraway kingdom to test him. That is called, she is called Queen of Sheba. Air shaft, a space of ventilating room, a space for ventilating a room. If you see this is if you see in some buildings, they will not have any ventilation. Maybe they will not have proper windows or something, so they will have this air shaft. You can see here, there will be it is open to the sky over here. This is called ventilation shaft. Okay. Now next we have I just mentioned to you regarding King Solomon, right? So he is King Solomon. He is a king. He was the king of Israel. He was one of the most powerful kings of Israel, and he is mentioned in the Old Testament. He was regarded as the wisest of men. His court was known for its pomp and splendor. He was the wisest and the richest king of his times. Okay, he is called King Solomon. Next we have fob or a fob chain. Okay, a chain by which a pocket watch is attached to a waistcoat. So this is a fob chain which we don't use nowadays, but it was very much prevalent and it was a show of wealth in the olden days. If you can see here, this is a chain, and to the end of the chain there is a watch like this, a pocket watch, and this chain is also like an ornament for men. It could be made of gold or silver or platinum, depending on the wealth of the person. See here, you can see how they wear it, how the men wear it. Okay, that is called fob chain. Now we will continue with the story. So what did we see last time? We saw that she had only $1.87, right? She was crying because what was the next day? Next day was Christmas, but she didn't have any money to buy gift for her beloved husband Jim. Now we will see what happens. Della finished her cry and attended to her cheeks with the powder rag. She stood by the window and looked out dully at a grey cat walking a grey fence in a grey backyard. Here, if you see, the author just mentions everything grey, 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 just to suggest that grey is very boring, very dull and very gloomy. Okay, just to show the dullness of her situation here, he is mentioning grey. Okay, now she has cried. Powder rag means, now you call it puff, right? Powder puff with which you do your makeup. So she cried, she finished crying. Now she just pats her face with powder, and she just wants to look a bit fresh. So now she's looking and she's thinking tomorrow would be Christmas Day, and she had only $1.87 with which to buy Jim a present. She had been saving every penny she could for months with this result. So now you know how she collected all that money, right? How she saved each and every penny. $20 a week doesn't go far. So that was his income, Jim's income, $20 a week. Expenses had been greater than she had calculated. They always are. Only $1.87 to buy a present for Jim. Her Jim. That means how much, it shows how much she loves him. So she's thinking what to do with that very little money. How can I buy a gift for him? Many a happy hour she had spent planning for something nice for him. She had spent time earlier thinking and planning to buy something very nice for him. Something fine and rare and sterling, something just a little bit near to being worthy of the honor of being owned by Jim. So she regards him in a very high position, and they both love each other. So she says the honor of being owned by him, that means the honor of being loved by him. To show that, she had to buy something big, but she could not. There was a pier glass between the windows of the room. We saw pier glass, right? So between the windows there was a pier glass. So what did she do? Perhaps you have seen a pier glass in a $8 flat. So he's addressing the readers. He's telling you would have seen a pier glass, right? A very thin and very agile person may, by observing his reflection in a rapid sequence of longitudinal strips, obtain a fairly accurate conception of his looks. So he's just explaining what reflection we get in the pier glass. So this is another pier glass. So he's just telling. So she looked in the pier glass. Della, being slender, had mastered the art. So she would come, she knows from the window she would move, she can look at herself, she could look at the reflection. So she knows, mastered the art means she knew very well how to just move towards the mirror, look at herself and go back. So that was the art. Suddenly she whirled from the window and stood before the glass. Whirled means just rotated herself, just go and stand in front of the glass. Before the glass means before the mirror. Her eyes were shining brilliantly, but her face had lost its color within 20 seconds. Rapidly she pulled down her hair and let it fall to its full length. Now, there were two possessions of James Dillingham Young's in which they both took a mighty pride. So now what did she do? She's looking at the mirror. Suddenly her eyes are shining brilliantly. Her face is a little dull, but suddenly she's feeling very happy. Now he's telling James Dillingham Young's. Young's means those two. Okay. They had two possessions, like two properties. What are they? One was Jim's gold watch that had been his father's and his grandfather's. That means he had a watch, gold watch. So we saw in the fob chain, right, how men kept watches, either with the fob chain or they would have this leather strap like this and put it in their pockets. Okay. Now recently we have this wristwatch. Earlier there was no wristwatch, they would just have it with the fob chain or this leather strap. So Jim had one gold watch which belonged to his grandfather. Then from his grandfather it had been handed down to his father and then to Jim. So it was a family heirloom. It is very precious for Jim. And what was the other possession? The other was Della's hair. So hair, imagine hair being a precious possession. That means it is so beautiful. Now he describes Della's hair more beautifully. The author describes it so beautifully. He says, had the Queen of Sheba lived in the flat across the air shaft. Had the Queen of Sheba lived means if See, when we saw in the air shaft, there are many windows, right? So, from our window, we can see the window of the other person. So, if Della had lived on the other side of the air shaft, through which she could see us from the other window, see Della from the other window, someday Della would let her hair hang out of the window someday to dry, just to depreciate Her Majesty's jewels and gifts. So this is how he is describing Della's hair. See, we saw that Queen of Sheba is one of the richest, and she brought lot of wealth to give it to King Solomon. She is so rich. But here, if Della had just let out her hair, and that beauty of her hair would depreciate. Depreciate means will reduce the value of Her Majesty the Queen. So this her beautiful hair was more valuable than Queen of Sheba's all her wealth put together. That is what the author is telling. Now next comes Jim's possession. So now he is comparing Jim's possession with King Solomon. Had King Solomon been the janitor, you know who a janitor is? He is like the housekeeping person, okay, a cleaner. So if King Solomon had been the janitor of their apartment, with all his treasures piled up in the basement, imagine King Solomon being the housekeeper or the maintenance person of the apartment, and he had just piled up or just put all his treasure in the basement, just hidden somewhere. Jim would have pulled out his watch every time he passed, just to see him pluck at his beard from envy. So even if Jim, just with that one watch, he is telling that Jim felt so rich that even all of King Solomon's wealth was less compared to his just his family watch, the gold watch. And King Solomon would feel envy, feel jealous of that watch, and he would pluck his beard out of jealousy. So these two possessions they considered very, very precious for them, even more than King Solomon's and Queen Sheba's wealth. So now Della's beautiful hair fell upon her, rippling and shining like a cascade of brown waters. So now look at Della's hair. It's so beautiful, isn't it? Isn't it? So the author says it fell like a cascade. Cascade means waterfall. Her hair falls like a brown waterfall. It is so beautiful, like a cascade of brown waters, like a waterfall of brown water. It is so beautiful. It reached below her knee and made itself almost a garment for her. It looked like a garment. The hair itself is so beautiful, and it looked like one of her dresses. Okay, it is that beautiful. That is why she considered it so precious and valuable. Now what will she do with the hair? Then she did it up. That means she knotted it up again nervously and quickly. Once she faltered for a minute, stood still while a tear or two splashed on the worn red carpet. Worn means stone, and it is a very old red carpet. So she is standing there. Then a few teardrops are falling on the red carpet. On went her old brown jacket. On went her old brown hat. On which she is wearing them. She is wearing. See how the author again is describing their poverty. Worn red carpet, that means it is old. It is worn out completely. Old brown jacket, old brown hat. So she is wearing everything, and she is going out with a whirl of skirts, and with the brilliant sparkle still in her eyes. She fluttered out of the door and down the stairs to the street. Suddenly she got a bright idea. So she wore a hat and coat, and she went out to the streets. Where she stopped, the sign read, Madame Sofronie, hair goods of all kinds. So this is the board she sees. She stops there. What is that? Madame Sofronie. This is a hair salon. Hair goods of all kinds. One flight up. That means first floor. She goes to the first floor. Up ran Della and collected herself panting. Collected herself means after she ran, She's just, she's panting for breath. What did she do there? Madame, large, too white, chilly, hardly looked the Sofronie. That means they are describing the salon lady. Her name is Madame Sofronie. Hardly looked the Sofronie means she doesn't look. Whatever Della had imagined, she didn't look anything like that. She looks very chilly, means very cold, very business looking lady, business minded looking. Okay, will you buy my hair? Asked Della. So why did she come here? She wants to sell her beautiful hair. I buy hair, said Madame. Take your hat off and let's have a sight at the looks of it. This is Old English. Okay, year means your. So she says, yes, I do buy hair. Take off your hat. I want to see the look of it. That means I want to see how it looks. Down rippled the brown cascade. So as soon as she took off her hat, she had tied it upright, so it fell again like a brown waterfall. $20, said Madame, lifting the mass with a practiced hand. So how much did she offer? She's going to offer her $20. Now Della agreed. She said, okay, give it to me. Quick, said Della. Oh, and the next 2 hours tripped by on rosy wings. Forget the hashed metaphor. She was ransacking the stores for Jim's present. She found it at last. Now she took the money. She's very happy because she got $20. So she's ransacking the stores. That means she's like bombarding the store. She's going on one store after the other. She's searching for something beautiful for her husband Jim. Then she found it. What was that? What did she find? It surely had been made for Jim and no one else. There was no other like it in any of the stores, and she had turned all of them inside out. She has looked for it in all the stores. At last she found, and she said it is said that it was nothing like it was found anywhere else. It was a platinum fob chain, simple and chaste in design, properly proclaiming its value by substance alone and not by the meretricious ornamentation, as all good things should do. It was even worthy of the watch. As soon as she saw it, she knew that it must be Jim's. It was like him. So she says, as soon as she had a look at it, she knew it has to be Jim's. That means it has to be it has to belong to Jim, because each object will have some character. So this from platinum fob chain's character suits Jim's character. It is just like him, she says. Chaste and simple. Okay, not just ornamentation. Ornamentation means what? To show, for just for fashion. No, she says she didn't want that. She wants simple yet elegant, just like Jim. Okay, now quiet and value, the description applied to both means to Jim and to the fob chain. It has value, but it is not in a very show off kind of value. It is there inside. So quietness and value. $21 they took from her for it. So she had only how much? She sold a hair for $20 and she already had $1.87. So now they took $21. So how much does she have remaining? Only 87 cents. Because only that much is remaining, and she hurried home with the 87 cents. With that chain in his watch, Jim might be properly anxious about the time in any company. So why she has bought this fob chain? Grand as the watch was, he sometimes looked at it on the sly on account of the old leather strap that he used in place of a chain. So poor people or people who have less money, they would only have this leather strap. Even though the watch was grand, he would on a sly means with lot of shyness. So he wouldn't fully take out the watch like this to look at the time, because that leather strap didn't look good. So, and he didn't have a proper chain. So he was very little bit embarrassed to remove the watch in front of others. So now she said she is very happy because the fob chain will be there and Jim would not have to be embarrassed. When Della reached home, her intoxication gave way to little prudence and reason. So now she comes home. Now she's so happy. It is like intoxicating, as if she's drunk. She's so happy. Now she comes home. Now she's relaxed. Now she's thinking, okay, what proper thing should I do next? What sensible thing I should do next? So now she is coming back to her senses. Now she has to think what to do. Okay, this is the story. We will see what happens next. Did Jim also buy any gift for her, or did this was this gift liked by Jim or not? We'll see in the next part. Okay, bye bye.